I know, I know, Chief. Can you imagine a non-crafter sitting here going, "No, no, click the next thing." Now, I'm interested again playing with the quality of the materials, uh, but it's like you said, it's 10 stacks. I can't even put 5 copper and 5 tin together. It doesn't care. I might as well put a single stack of 100. Why make it do it 10 at a time? Doesn't make any sense. If it takes 10 of each of these to make one Earth, why make 10? Why not just put in a stack of 100 and the output of this is 10? Or 1. I mean, it could still happen, but it doesn't make the numbers, that's like hit points. I don't care if you have 1,000 hit points or 100 hit points. It's about whether or not those hit points make sense compared to the amount of work and damage you do. If you have 1,000 hit points and you're only doing 2 points of damage a swing, that's a lot different. It just seems like this is a yeah. I mean, I'm for the grind. The grind separates the people who are willing to do the work. Yeah, I mean, the varied items, I think if there was some chance of complexity, but your first comment is extremely strong, there's no variance here. I put in 10, I click OK. It's not like I'm using experimentation points. It's not like I'm doing a mini game. I'm not doing anything. I just have to click the same button over and over again. I mean, I understand why they do it because it's the same mechanics as something that would require. Because during that naming phase, that's where you would spend your pips and blah, blah, blah. Or, wait, now I'm going to put in some additive or something. But, nothing here. Nothing to see here. Halfway through, people. Halfway through. 16 minutes. 16 minutes to get halfway through. Hell, I may not even be able to get all the way through before my wife's done with her run or we go to dinner. There's my failure. See, that hurts. Let's bring in some more ore just in case. So I'm tracking my failures. One so far at 50. So it's 98%. Three minutes left on my pots. Can you imagine doing this without the pots? Can you imagine though? So I do all of this work. 3,000 raw materials, 1,000 ore, 1,000 tree, 1,000 stone, and it somehow fails on the combine. That, like I said earlier in the trees, when I was doing the trees, talk about rage quit. I need to go for a walk, go find some me time, maybe pick up yoga. 2 minutes left. Ugh. Gotta craft pots. Can't believe I have to craft pots during the middle of this. But I mean, again, not to beat a dead horse, but I mean, this would be a guild more mechanic. It's not like a solo player is going to have an easy time gathering 1,000 of each materials when they're under constant fire. and threat of death. That is easily understandable. That's just not likely. One minute left, so I can't chance it. So I should be able to get another one in, maybe two. Like I said, I got another 150 in non-mats here. I mean, non-10. Do one more after this, and then I'll craft the pots. As long as I craft my pots while I have pots active. No, I'm actually going to craft my pots while I have pots active, so then I'm less likely to fail at making pots. You know what I mean? But 95% chance to not fail. But this one I'm only at 78% chance, I think. Yep. Okay, chug these and keep going. Or concentrate, people. We're at 60. Come on, 61. I've got 200, 300, 450, so I've got enough to have 5 failures and still make it. Yeah, it's mind-numbing. Mind-numbing. And see, you would think, for thralls, you make a blueprint. What, I'm going to make a blueprint of ore concentrate? There's no change here. There's no blueprint, right? So this is where you would, I guess make a blueprint on that, but what is there to make a blueprint on? Ore concentrate is exactly ore concentrate. Doesn't make a difference if I have more skill or not. Unless making a blueprint allows me to somehow mitigate my risk by using the thrall combination versus my own, I don't understand why you'd want to spend the time and effort to make a blueprint of something. I guess so you can thrall, so you can do it offline. But to me, I thought the blueprint allows me to take the perfect of the perfect, right? I made the best sword. It's so awesome. And so do I actually finish the sword and James or Anhrez gets the sword? Or do I say, I'm going to turn this into a mystical blueprint? Sure, I don't get this awesome sword, but now I have the ability to make 20 of these awesome swords until this blueprint runs out. Which I think is kind of awesome. In a, no auction house guild sort of way. It's going to create a layer of complexity. Am I going to quote unquote fail a few times with materials and make a blueprint out of it instead of handing somebody stuff? Probably not. To people I know. $67. Jesus Christ, can this go any slower? Yeah, it was much slower to harvest ore also because there were so many people running around looking for combat, which again is fine, but I mean they've got Bloodbath up. The reason why some people don't like Bloodbath is because they don't get a full loot. And if you pick the wrong faction and your faction is dominated, then why go, right? I mean, why go face 3 on 10? Of course, it's funny that the same people that don't want to face 3 on 10 are just awesome at taking 3 on 1 to some harvester. But, you know, that's a completely different thing. $71, $72, almost 75% done. He said, I know, sorry I'm streaming this, but I just want to capture the video because I want to put part 1, part 2, part 3 together when I build all the components. And then I'll go through and build all the earth and actually build the piece on step 4. I will be on quite a bit more this next week. I'm going to take some PTO time so I don't lose it. So I'll try to get on off and on during the day. Maybe run 1 or 2 nights, do a 4-hour stream or something like that where I just do some serious crafting. I don't have a lot of white materials left, as you can see. But that doesn't stop me from crafting a bunch of other stuff. Because of these steps, I've got a lot of good green, blue, and even some good purple materials to create. There's second failure. To create actually some better tools. So if they keep up the rank 9 nodes, and I can find a time where I can go there and not be overly bothered by being ganked, I'd like to take some high-end tools and start collecting some minerals. Third, see, we're making up, right? If we do it in 50s, if we're doing it in 50% chunks, right? Now we're actually worse off on the second 50. We're below 95% on failures. We were 100% clean on the first 50. No, we had 1 fail, right? No, 98%. But the second one, we're already with 2 fails, so we're at 96% failure rate so far on the second stat, and we're like barely halfway through. Said I'll use all the 10 I have. The 10 is not a good stat for duelist, and it's not necessarily even a great stat for tool usage. A couple things aren't bad. Really, gold and silver give you harvest crit. So you want more materials, more stone, more wood, more ore, more skins, more body parts. Whatever, you're going to go gold and silver in your tool combinations. We're getting there. 80% done. Like I said, as soon as this is all done, I'll close out the stream. I'll probably grab a screenshot to show that I've got my materials in the bank. Also give an update on where I am on stone, because that's the next journey, people. God, I am not trained on stone. I haven't gone down that path much at all, so I'm not getting much. I mean, I get a little better extra damage on the picks because I've went for mother loads. So my picks do a little bit more damage than normal. But, you know, I'm not a super rune crafter. My crafting colleague is decided to take a step back from the game a little bit. In fact, I had 2, one gatherer, one crafter that I know that I've been working with a little bit. Both of them are kind of taking a step back from the game, which is frightening a little bit. You know, one person is a great person to trade resources with.